everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today we're going to be making a blended body oil using botanicals. Now this is a really easy thing to do, especially if you know a little bit about oil properties. You can mix and match and blend things specifically targeted to what you're trying to accomplish with your skincare routine. Now, I have seen similar products in the store as to what I'm going to make today, but the difference is you can make yours for a fraction of the cost, and also you can make yours with much higher end ingredients than the ones that I've seen at the store. Now I'm going to take you through the process of how to make this body oil, and I will be posting the full recipe on my Patreon campaign. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is weighing out the oil blend of choice into this stainless steel bowl. And I've gone ahead and I've sanitized my entire workstation, including utensils and containers, with a bleach and water solution. So I'm setting this right on the scale. And the first thing I'm going to be adding to this bowl is sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is known to be great for skin because it does not clog the pores. It's a very light carrier oil. It's rich in vitamin A and vitamin E, and that helps in promoting skin health. The vitamins also act as antioxidants, so they help regenerate damaged skin cells. This oil absorbs really nicely into the skin because it is very lightweight. It's a natural moisturizer. So that's what we're adding directly in to the bowl, sunflower oil. It's got a very light, kind of airy consistency. Okay. And then to the sunflower oil, we're going to be adding in some fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil is really good for the skin as well. Very moisturizing, another lightweight carrier oil. It has amazing hydrating benefits. It leaves your skin feeling smooth and glowing, and it's also a non-clogging oil. And it's odorless, which makes it also great for like a perfume base. Okay. And then the last thing, well, the last oil we're going to be adding in here is argan oil. And argan oil is a very luxurious oil. This one is the most expensive of the oils that we're using today. It's high and rich in antioxidants. It can also be helpful with people who have skin conditions. It's helpful for eczema. And it's got high levels of vitamin E and essential fatty acids, mainly oleic acid and linoleic acid, and it's very hydrating. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be adding some calendula petals directly to this mixture, and then we're going to be putting it over a double boiler for a few hours. So we are going to do a slow warm infusion of the calendula. So calendula petals are just dried marigold petals, and they look like this, and they are fantastic for the skin. They are really good for inflammation. An oil infusion with calendula is real good for itchy, red, inflamed skin. It's good for anti-aging, and it's an all-around adds calming properties to your cosmetics. just gonna take the marigold. Whenever I do infusions, I don't really ever weigh out. Maybe I will do that right now, just to kind of let you know exactly how much I'm adding in. I never usually weigh out, I just kind of eyeball this part. I fill up my oil. Let's go ahead and weigh this out. So when I go to give you the actual recipe, you will know how much to add. Okay, so you see how my oil is just completely filled up with the calendula, but not so much calendula that it's coming up out of the oil. It's just sitting in there all the way full, but not coming up over the top. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this on a double boiler. Okay, so all you're gonna do, I don't have a regular double boiler, but I actually think my little makeshift one is better because it gives me more space to work. So I just put a pot, filled it up with water, just shallow, and I'm turning my burner on to like medium low, and then I'm gonna put this right on top, and we're gonna just let this slowly warm up, and I'm gonna go ahead and let it warm up for 2 hours. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you how we're going to do the botanicals into the little containers that I'm using. So we're just going to let this warm. Okay, so I've chosen these little 4-ounce bullet bottles. They're PET bullet bottles that I got from Nature's Garden. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to place some botanicals down at the bottom of the jar. Just for interest, it looks really pretty when the containers have some botanicals down at the bottom. When the oil gets in it, that kind of floats around. So I'm gonna put some, this is some calendula again. This type from Brambleberry is really beautiful in color. The yellow is really nice, so I like this one a lot. So we're gonna be using some dried calendula. We're also gonna be using some safflower petals. These have a nice kind of earthy chamomile type fragrance to them. And then I may or may not be adding in some red rose petals. I'm gonna kind of see how it goes with just these 2 botanicals. So this is what I do. I get my little container and I just find good pieces. And we don't want to put too many in there and overfill it, but I'm just going to put a little bit of rose, a little bit of saffron, and a little bit of calendula. And I've got a chopstick here to kind of go ahead and push those down if they get stuck by the top. There's a lot of static electricity in the air right now, so my botanicals are sticking to the sides. But once the oil gets in there, we can decide if we want to add any more, but I find a little goes a long way. It adds a nice effect. So all my little containers are filled. I'm gonna go ahead and put these aside. They're prepped and ready to go. And we're just gonna wait for the oil to infuse. And when we come back, I'm gonna show you what else we're adding to the oil and how we're gonna be putting it into the containers. Be right back. All right, so So we've gone ahead and infused the oils now for a little over 2 hours, and I've had this sitting here just to reach room temperature. So the next thing we need to do is strain out all of the calendula petals so we're left with just the infused oil. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of a nylon out of a container. I just cut the foot off of the nylon and I stretched it over the opening of a wide mouth mason jar, and then I've just secured it with a rubber band. So the nylon actually is really, really good at collecting the botanicals and even the little fine plant matter and stuff. It won't get through the nylon. So all we're gonna do is slowly pour the oil right into the top there. And we're just gonna let it drain into the jar. And it's important to get all of the plant matter inside there because we're going to be squeezing out the oil that's been trapped inside the plant. It's going to be a little bit messy, but okay, so there we go. So all we're gonna do is lift up the nylon, and then we're just gonna squeeze the plant matter until we can kind of squeeze all the infused oil out of it. So I'll show you what that looks like. Now it's important to do this part when your oils are nice and cool to the touch, so you can get every last drop of infusion out of there. Okay? Now you can see the calendula has turned the oil mixture into a beautiful light yellow color. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my area a little bit, change out my gloves, and then I'll show you how I pour it into the jars. All right, my space is all cleaned up, so we're just going to add 2 last things to this mixture now that everything's cooled down, and then we're going to bottle it. So I'm going to be adding in some vitamin E. We're not adding any preservative to this because there's no water in here. However, if you add vitamin E to this mixture, it will prolong the shelf life of your oils. And I'm also going to be adding in my fragrance oil. So today I've chosen the fragrance oil Chocolate Orchid, and this is by Nature's Garden. I've chosen this one because it's a warm fragrance, which I really like, but it also has some floral notes, which will look really good with the display of this product or how this product shows with the flowers floating in the oil. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. Going to give this a good stir. Get that well combined. Okay, as you can see, I've transferred everything over to something that I can pour out of. So here's the first little container. It smells really good. And there you go. So those will float up and down and sink and stuff like that, but as you can see, it has a really nice presentation. Now I've prepared 5 bottles because I made a total of 20 ounces, but when you make your infusions, you are gonna lose a little bit of the product to the oil. So this one likely will not fill all the way up. I don't think it's gonna fill all the way up. So this one will just be my little personal bottle. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and cap those off. I'm using regular little flip caps because pumps, if you use a pump in this, it is gonna clog up with all those botanicals. So this is an easier way to get your product out. All right, so I'll be right back to show you how I label these. All right, we're back to go ahead and label these bottles. So like I mentioned before, these are the little 4-ounce bottles, PET bottles from Nature's Garden. And I am using some clear gloss laser labels from onlinelabels.com, and I'll go ahead and link the description. In the description box, I'll link the label that I used for these bottles. So the reason I've chosen clear here is you want these pretty botanicals to show through because they are really pretty and the presentation is really nice with a clear label. So we're just gonna pop that on there. And then we're using laser because laser labels are much better at sticking. The ink sticks, it doesn't come off so easily. So it's kind of semi-waterproof. There's that one. If you are going to use an inkjet printer to do this, the first time these little labels got oil on them from the bottle, it would wreck the label. So they do need to be either waterproof or laser. So I'm calling this body oil Glow because it'll give your body a nice, healthy, glowing appearance, and it'll leave you very hydrated. And there you have it, everybody. That is how you make my Glow Calendula Infused Body Oil. If you like this video, please remember to give it a like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Catch you on the next video.